Hello and welcome to our series Survive and Thrive During the Downturn. Hello, I'm Gerard Leone, Principal with Leonardo Group Americas, and I am joined here with...
Richard Rahn from Leonardo Group Americas.
So, you have probably been reading the paper lately, and what you have seen is probably bad news upon bad news upon bad news. And our clients and other folks are asking us all the time, so what do we do now? How do we survive during this downturn? And our answer is yes, you can survive during this downturn, but furthermore, you can thrive during this downturn by positioning yourself and positioning your company to be the leader through lean tools when the downturn is over. The goal of this series of short videos is to provide you with some ideas on how to position your company by implementing lean tools, having mixed model capabilities and short lead times to be the supplier of choice for when the downturn is over. So let's quickly talk about the newspaper, because we mentioned bad news upon bad news. If you've been looking at the newspaper lately, what you see is that in order to meet your monthly obligations of payroll and buying inventory and any operational cash that you may need, your working capital is getting more and more difficult to get that line of credit from your bank. So that's point number one. The credit market is becoming increasingly dried up. Also, there is a lot of market uncertainty. You don't know exactly what is around the corner. You don't know when the next client is going to call saying, well, you know, that order for 1,000 toy airplanes, well, sorry, I'm going to have to cancel that. And you need to be ready for that. You need to be ready for the next shoe to drop. And finally, consumer confidence is at an all-time low. Customers are not buying. They're holding on to their cash. Take a look at what happened to the auto industry. General Motors alone, between October 07 and October 09, they dropped 50% in volume. So you're not going to be able to get the customers to pull you through right now. You need to start looking in different places, and that is the goal of our videos, to provide you with some ideas for that.
So you're either planning to get through this to make it to the other side, or you're planning to just close the doors and put a big chain on the door and lock it up and walk away. We're assuming that that second option is not really the one we're pursuing. We want to make sure that we're doing the right things now so that when things pick up again in the future, we're well positioned to not only regain our market share, but grow it and actually be more successful in the future. There was an article in the paper today I just wanted to share with you quickly. It was a quote from Carl Icahn, corporate raider, and what he said in this article was, and this is a quote, "I can go in and save 30% in almost any company because there is so much waste and mismanagement." So there's our opportunity. We're not saying your company's being mismanaged, but we certainly know there's a lot of opportunity to improve the way we're doing things. There's a huge pile of gold or a pile of cash out there available to us if we know how to get to it. And that's really the focus of this series.
Absolutely. And we see it in every client we visit, in every prospect we visit. And that is what we're recommending that you do. That you take a critical look at how you do business and look for ways to wring every dollar out of operations. Make sure that you get out there and take a look.
So there are really two things we want to look at. There's a scale we want to try to balance. On one side of the scale, we have controlling costs, and that's clearly important if we're not able to actually grow the business. The other side, though, is how do we use lean methods to actually build our market share? Take market share from our competitors, for example. So we want to look at both of those opportunities to weather this current downturn. So on the cost side, what kind of things will we be talking about in future modules? Well, one is conserving cash, or not just conserving, but freeing up cash, liberating cash that we already have that's currently tied up in things like inventory and accounts receivable and accounts payable. So we'll be looking at something called working capital and the various elements of working capital. Another important part of our current cost, and this is one that people jump to maybe prematurely, is what do we do with our workforce if we have excess people? We need to be very careful with this, and so we'll be spending a lot of time talking about right choices to make with your current workforce versus wrong choices.
Now let me go back for a second to the newspaper, because a few days ago there was a story in the newspaper, the Wall Street Journal to be precise, about a company that is very well known in the industry for being lean. And this company is getting ready for the downturn by looking even harder at leaning out operations. The company is Ariens in Wisconsin. They make snow blowers that you probably see a lot at Home Depot, sold in orange color. These folks are putting a lot of emphasis on going back to operations. Now they have taken the goal of leaning operations to the workforce. It's the workforce looking for every possible dollar they can save, every possible motion they can save, every unnecessary step they can remove. Have a look at that article. It really illustrates the idea of what you can do, and we will give you some of those pointers also during this series.
Another area we need to look at in terms of the cost side of the equation is overhead. Overhead is typically the second biggest category of cost that we have, and oftentimes overlooked, but huge opportunities there to look at how we're doing things and how we can improve our overhead functions, including new product development, accounting, finance, customer service, those kind of functions.
So what is our balancing act? On one side, to cut costs. On the other side, to expand the business. To expand the business, we need to innovate. And the best tool to innovate is to have all the brains in your company working for you. Lean tools are the key to put you in that place, to position yourself during this downturn, so when it is over, you didn't just survive, you thrived. So, a few of the topics that we're going to be discussing. On the cutting cost side, we're going to be talking about working capital, focusing mostly on where to go get the money from. We're going to talk about getting dollars out of work in process inventory, getting dollars out of finished goods inventory, and out of raw materials inventory. The other aspect of working capital is accounts receivable. What to do with that so we can get our cash cycle shortened as much as possible. Then we're going to talk a little about workforce, right?
Right. One of the famous 7 wastes of the Toyota production system, you may have seen this list. It lists things like walking and errors and defects and unnecessary movement and inventory. But one of the wastes that's not on the original list is waste of not taking advantage of your current workforce. And we really want to spend some time talking about that, because in almost any company, whether you're 5 employees or 5,000 employees, you have a huge pool of talent that is usually wasted. And we really need to be able to tap into that to get through this.
And finally, on growing the business, we're going to be looking at positioning ourselves to be the lowest cost, highest quality, and fastest supplier in your supply chain. So you are the supplier of choice for when the downturn is over. So that's going to be pretty much it. This series is going to take a few videos, and we hope you join us for the next one.
Okay.
Thank you.
See you soon. Just press it again.